God bless you, Andrew.
I just want to say that the judges today made the right decision. I respect what they've done for me, and they will be vindicated in their decision because I'm an innocent man and I can't wait to prove it.
Hello, Andrew.
Freedom at last.
Mashallah, brother. Mashallah, mashallah.
It's a little bit emotional. I've been in one room since last year, so it's a little bit emotional. I want to give respect, firstly, to the judges who heard us today because they were very attentive and they listened to us and they let us free, so I have to give absolute respect to them. I truly believe that justice will be served in the end. There is 0% chance of me being found guilty of something I have not done. I maintain my absolute innocence, and I think most people understand this, and I look forward to being hung. So thank you very much, everybody.
Respect. Alright guys, welcome to another video. It's your Raz here. Before we dive into this, guys, you know the usual drill. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below, support the channel, get this out to the YouTube universe, okay? I'm not going to go into any further, guys. Support the channel, alright? Without further ado, guys, let's dive into this. The Tate brothers are free. Guys, if you don't know who Andrew Tate is, and his brother, where have you been sleeping? If you don't know what's happened recently with these two brothers, you must be under a rock. So I'm going to briefly go into who Andrew Tate was brother with. Andrew Tate is a massive social media influencer, right? Multi-millionaire, ex-jumping kickboxer. Got the message out to men about masculinity, what it really means, the traditional values of masculinity. He was ostracized, all right. They tried to deplatform. That didn't work. His message was still getting out. He was even invited on Piers Morgan's show 2 to 3 times, I think, and his message was still getting out, you know, and so they tried everything they could to stop his message getting out. Now, you've got to ask yourself why. Okay, because all he was talking about is empowering men. It's not about, and he was accused of a lot of things by the feminist movement, by left-wing narrative about, you know, him being a misogynist. If you really look at his message, and what he was saying, dig deep in all his interviews and videos, you will see the truth in there. Okay, this is my personal opinion. You will see the truth of what he's actually saying and what he was telling men. And he started to amass a global, massive following. So even through all the deplatform, all the shaming, they couldn't stop his word getting out. So the final straw was he was put on sexual charges, all right. I think it was grooming girls and so, etc., etc. And he had accusations from a few films, and he was arrested. He was in imprisonment for since last year, all right, and he's recently been released. This is a massive, massive win for the manosphere, guys, all right. And he was put in those prison for charges. He was never convicted. He was just, they didn't have any set in stone charges on him or convictions on him. He was just held there. And you've got to ask yourself, guys, if they can do this, all right. I'm gonna have a sip of this. Where is freedom, guys? If they can hold you for that long, without any formal charges, and just hold you for that long, take your freedoms away, take your rights away, right? And this is Andrew Tate, a multi-millionaire, massive global social following, and they can do this to this man. It's a worrying thing, okay? So he's finally been released, guys. I'm so happy about it. I knew he would get released because. And his brother, sorry, I need to mention his brother as well, guys, all right, because the two of them are in it, and his brother, all right, and they were released and they came out, and I knew they wouldn't stay in there because they don't, this, as I said before, I did a previous video on this before when he got arrested, about this was just a ploy to try and silence this man. They tried everything under the sun to silence him. They couldn't silence him, and this was the last straw, and this was another aspect of an attempt to do this, in my opinion, and that's why he was arrested. Okay, and these females came forward to accuse him. Now, guys, it's very worrying now today's day and age, and this happens to a lot of men when females can come out and just cry wolf. Okay, and a man's life can be ruined. All right, a man's entire life can be ruined by a cry wolf, and this happens constantly in society, guys, as well. All a female needs to do is accuse a man of something, accuse a man of such, and accuse a man of this, accuse a man, and that man's life is ruined. His whole entire career is ruined. It happens all the time, guys. Not even in high-profile cases. You hear it all the time, and it's not high-profile celebrities, and that's why you don't hear about men's lives are getting destroyed. So. And nothing's been said about these females that the accusation now that he's out. Nothing's been said of them. Nothing's been shaved about them, or where's the evidence that they said this? So it's very worrying. But he's come out, Andrew Tate, and the way he came out and carried himself, guys, just shows the absolute masculinity and character of this man. Okay, even going through all that trauma, even going through that solitude in a cell, everything taken away from him, because he obviously liked a little bit of a lavish lifestyle, which is fair enough. I've got nothing against that, because whatever he's built, he's worked for, so why shouldn't he enjoy it, guys? All right, some of you might not agree, some of you may agree with the kind of things he does, or he was doing, women all around the mansion and drinking and cigars and stuff. That's up to him, if that's his kind of thing, and just enjoying his money. But why shouldn't he? As I said, he's worked for it. So, I personally wouldn't do that if I had all that kind of money. I wouldn't sort of need to do that. I would just use it to enjoy myself and, this kind of thing. But, he'll, he's entitled to do what he wants. But so he came out, and the way he addressed the crowd, the way he addressed the social media was like a gallant lion. A humble, silent, gallant lion. He was so humble, he didn't even blame the Romanian government. He praised the judge. He thanked the judge. Absolute class of a masculine man, guys. His reaction was so masculine in his behaviour after everything that's happened to him. The energy and the masculinity that oozed off this guy is what you should be striving for, guys. And what lessons should you take off this? The way Tate's handled all this, he's come out even stronger. He's come out even more determined, and there's a kind of silent, humble, new light about him, a new determination about him. Like, he spent that time contemplating, he spent that time empowering himself, he spent that time on his spirituality. They said, he mentioned about him doing 4,000 press-ups and reading the Quran. So he's obviously spiritually used that time to mentally and spiritually enlighten himself and keep fit in the cell and not let anything get to him. And he's come out, it's like a lion waiting for the next stage of his advancement. He's taken the ostracization and just his entire demeanour, guys, coming out and addressing the public, addressing the media, and the way he walked out, his face, if you looked at the face in the video, if you looked at his face, the determination, it's like a lion coming out, determined. Nothing has broken me. I'm coming out, and I'm coming out for the next stage. I'm coming out to show the world the next plan I've got, and that's the case. And to his brother as well, hats off to him too. They both came out with similar demeanour, and it just shows you the power of his masculinity, guys. And this is an absolute, that's why he's the top G. Andrew Tate is a top G from everything he's went through, and he stuck to his word, guys. He never backed down on his word. He's taken everything that's come to him. And there's a lot of people, that haven't stuck by him, but he's had a close knit of friends with him, powerful friends, and he's got a close community. And this is the lesson you must take off this, to have your associations tight to it. And I've done videos on this, to have your associations and people that you hang around with you need to truly vet them and truly have those people that are on your side, like an army. And Andrew Tate indeed had an army of really close, powerful people next to him, and you know, it's helped him get released, and you know, just a gallant way he's taken all this, in a gallant way he's come back out into the public, and you know, just a determination, and the masculine determination on his face, and his masculine demeanor and his behavior as the epitome of of how you handle all this. So what can you learn off this? You know, just you can learn off this, you know, whatever obstacles you've got, guys, the resilience not to be broken down, the resilience that Andrew Tate's had, you know, the resilience to lead by your convictions. He's never once backed down from anything he said. He's led by his convictions, even though he was ostracized by it, even though he was blamed, he was harassed, he was accused, without any formal charges, guys. He was put, you've got to remember this, without any formal charges, without any convictions. He was put away, he was held without any legal convictions. He still maintained, you know, his word, you know, and the confidence of his convictions. You know, he didn't change or go back on anything he said, and he stuck to his guns on that, and he's come out like a lion, guys, a lion weighing 2 pounds, you know, and show the world more of what he's got. I'm sure we're going to see, this is just going to you know, just elate Andrew Tate to new levels globally. You know, it is, and it just shows you guys, you know, sometimes the ostracization and the false accusations by the powers to be will backfire, because in the end truth wins, and in the end morality wins, and in the end the truth, you know, will always win in the end, you know, and the truth will always set you free. That's where the word comes from, and the truth is going to set him free. And I don't think they'll get him on any form of convictions. As I said, this was just another ploy to silence this man, to break him, to weaken him, and they couldn't do it with Andrew Tate. He reminds me of a character Paul Newman played in a film called The Hood, okay, where he was put in prison and he didn't conform to society. He wouldn't conform to society, and they had these really bad prisoners, and they tried to break him. They ostracized him, put him in solitary confinement, did everything to break him throughout the whole movie, and he never ever breaks out the whole movie, and the end's a bit tragic. I'm not going to spoil the movie for you if you've never seen it. Go and watch that movie, and he's still towards the end, he never broke, and it's just about the powers of keeping your convictions and non-conformity, and Tate reminds me of that. So so this is the lessons you can learn in that, guys. The lessons you can learn in that is confident in your convictions, confident in your beliefs, to stick by your guns, to remain resilient, to remain masculine, okay, because masculinity is not all about being brute, guys, alright? It's not all about pumping muscles, showing your muscles and fighting with other men, alright? There's a lot more depth to masculinity spiritually, okay? And yes, depth of it physically, spiritually, you know, and this is what Andrew Tate's shown, okay? And he's now on another level, spiritual level, I think. You know, obviously he's embraced Islam, and you know, whatever your religious beliefs are, he's embraced Islam, and you know that he's found a new spirituality, which is going to make this man even more powerful, guys, all right? Because when you have a spiritual backing, all right, you do understand that on a spiritual level, you become thus more powerful as a human being, okay, as opposed to everything external. When you understand the foundations behind that, it will make you a very, very powerful human being. So this should show you the resilient, to be resilient, guys, to never let any situation bring you down, any situation make you give up hope. And it also shows you that bad times will make you more powerful, bad times make you more stronger. you know, they teach you lessons and you come back stronger. They teach you experience. So failures and bad times will only make you stronger, guys. Failures, you have to fail, and when you go through bad times, you have to go through bad times. Life's not a straight curve, and Andrew Tate has shown this. I mean, he has the good with the bad. He has the fortune, he has the glory, and then he has the downside, the bad. He has the he has the ostracization, the isolation. You know, he has the world against him, and then he's come out, and you'll just see this man climb and climb and climb, guys, after this. I mean, it's crazy to think the phenomenon behind Andrew Tate, because, I mean, he was an ex-kickboxing champion, but the amount of global popularity for such a social media influencer, you know, the way he's grown globally so fast, just shows you men are craving to get back to being men. Otherwise, he wouldn't have grown so globally massive. But it just shows his message is needed. His message has been heard and needed, and men want that. And that's why he had such a massive social media following, because people magnetize to the truth. People magnetize to what somebody's saying and the truth about what they're saying, and they will listen and they will hear and they will follow. And so this is what you can heed from this, guys, all right? And this is what my reflection on Andrew Tate being released. And it's very, very good news for the manosphere, guys. It's very good news for masculinity. I'm sure we're going to see massive things from Andrew Tate. I'd love to get him on this channel, guys, for an interview, but we'll see about that. I'm going to try and get him on this channel for an interview, guys, but, you know, nothing's impossible because this is a channel for men and masculinity, guys. With that said, I'm going to leave it here. So that's great news that Andrew Tate's released. I might be digging into more of these videos, guys, and I'd really appreciate you to subscribe to the channel, guys, to support the channel. That's all I ask you. It doesn't cost to give me a thumbs up, doesn't cost to give me a comment down below, because YouTube don't like this information getting out to you guys to empower you, all right? And we need to beat the algorithms, and the only way we beat the algorithms is if you put the thumbs up and comment down below, guys, all right? That beats the algorithms. If you don't do that, we don't beat the algorithms. Men don't get this information out, and you'll be doing them an injustice, all right? Loads of good information coming up, guys. I've got loads of good content topics for you as well, in terms of, I'm going to start adding more in about fitness. I'm going to start adding more in about dating dynamics and female interaction. I've got some good, really good content coming up for you guys. I may do infield for you as well, okay? So you want to keep an eye out for that, all right? So some good infield content coming up for you guys, which I'll be showing you. So with that said, guys, I'm going to leave it here. I have grind to do, guys, always on the grind. So I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and well done, Andrew Tate and the Tate brothers. You're out, and big things coming from them. Take care. Till the next time, Shiraz out. We'll see you soon.